This is for day 5, page 247. This is for day 5, page 247. And this page is actually from your homework packet. So if you have your homework packet, you can do it in your homework book. But if not, you can do it with the packet the school gave you. Now, this homework page starts off with an example. They actually do most of the work for you, but let's read it together. It says Ben has a piece of plywood that measures 1 yard on each side. Ben has a piece of plywood that measures 1 yard on each side. So 1 and 1 yard. He cuts the wood into 6 equal pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each piece is 1/3 yard wide. So 1/3 wide, 1/3 wide, 1/3 wide, and 1 yard. I'm sorry, 1/2 yard long. So 1/2 yard from here to here, 1/2 from here to here. What is the area of the piece that Ben cuts? I wonder if it's asking just for this one that you can. You can use a model to help you understand the problem. Start by drawing a square that is 1 yard on each side and then divide it as described in the problem. Use your model to solve the problem. So if it's 1 yard, split into halves, we would have two halves, 1, 2. 1 yard going this way, it's split into 1/3 of a yard, so we would have 3 going this way. The area of one piece, I guess the piece that man cuts out, is one side by the other side, 1/2 by 1/3. When we do that, we get 1/6. That means that the area of the piece of plywood that he cut out right here is 1/6. These parts are the ones you actually have to solve. It says number 1, explain how the product 1/2 times 1/3 relates to the model. The way it relates, it's pretty simple. It's This product tells us how to find the area of the piece that Ben cuts. So when we write our answer, we would just explain how the product 1/2 times 1/3 relates to the model. Um, so we can say that it's the well, yes, we use it to find the area. So you can say we use the two sides to find the area. You can also say that it's how much each side measures. So either one of those two could be the correct answer. It just is asking you just because it wants to see like if you know how much each side um, is long or wide. Now the next one says number 2. How many pieces do you need to cover 1/2 square yard? Explain how you know. Now for this one, it's a little tricky. When I was reading it, I kind of didn't get it either. But all it means is it's asking you how many pieces you need to cover 1/2 square yard. So right here is 1/2 of a yard, but squared yard would mean that that's squared yard. Sorry, squared yard is like this. Squared yard. That's how it is. That means the area. How many pieces do you need to cover this much area? And whenever we find the area, usually we write A equals the formula, right? But this time we know what the area is. So how many pieces do you need to cover 1/2 of a yard of a squared yard? In the picture, it would look like this. It would mean how much do you need to cover this much? Because this whole thing here is just 1 yard. So I do 1 yard of this whole line times half a yard. I get half. I get half a yard squared. But I would only need 3 pieces to get that. But I'll show you real quick. Yeah, leave it like that. So it says how many pieces do you need to cover 1/2 squared yard? So we need 3 pieces. 1, 2, 3. But it's 3 pieces. It's 3 pieces. But the 3 pieces measure 1 yard. So when I multiply that by 1/2, it gives me the 1/2 yard squared. This 1/2 should also be yards. For the next one, it says, suppose Ben cuts pieces that are 1/3 yard wide, but the area of each piece is 1/2. So this time the area is not going to be 1/2 yard. It's not going to be 1/2. It's going to be 1/12. So instead of saying area equals base times height, it's just going to be 1/2 squared yard. So, but we need to make it equal 1/12. I'm sorry, we need to make it equal 1/12 yards squared. But we know that they're 1/3 wide for the pieces. We just need to figure out what's the missing piece. 1/3 times what? So we have one side. But if the area is 1/12, what would we need to create right here to make it fit? So we would have to multiply 3 times something for our denominators to get 12. I know that 3 times 4 gives me 12. I would also have to multiply 1 times something to get 1. Right here we can just put 1. That means that the length of each piece would be 1/4. We know that the width is 1/3, but the length would be 1/4. So we can say we know that the width is 1/3, and then our wide, not our wide, but our length would be 1/4. It'd be 1/4.